and obviously I've put it up on the screen as well. I'm going off by the information that has been given to me.
Yeah.
So I'm only reacting. If things have changed and the criteria is different, please tell me so I can dress accordingly. But for right now, this is the information, and you can read it, fam. It's right there. I screenshotted it of our chat, and that's his words. And he's the guy that is in charge of player selection and scouting.
I'm just wondering, why is it specifically no under 20? Oh, as in they're saying they don't have those under 21 teams.
Exactly. So that was another point that I wanted to get on. There's no youth setup for Somali football. So how are you breeding? How are you trying to look long term if you don't have a youth setup? I looked at Eswatini. They have an under 17s. They have an under 18s. They have an under 19s. They have an under 21s. They have a reserve. They have their national team.
It's time to get it rolling, man. It's possible as well.
But on to another country in Africa, a country close to our hearts, Somalia. The situation with them. What do you think is going on in the... Obviously, there's been rumours and speculation on the managerial appointment, but obviously as it stands now, there hasn't been a managerial appointment. Players haven't been selected. The federation haven't come out and announced anything. What do you think is going on back, obviously in the back room stuff, and what are your thoughts of how everything's been handled?
They need to get things going, I can't lie. Because when's the game again? You said March?
20th of March, yeah. 7 weeks from now, roughly.
We gotta get things moving. We gotta get someone in to make those decisions. Regardless who it is, just make sure you choose someone and allow them to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? I think we just need to be organised first. If we're not organised, then you can't really hope to do much in it. You just gotta, as soon as possible, get someone in. Because I think you were saying to me before that there are some people obviously that are working with the team, but those are like specific roles. They're not really to do with the management. Management, obviously, they'll bring in their own team, own coaches, etc. They have their own ideas. They'll be able to assess the players. We need to get that going. Need to get that going.
I feel you, because obviously, like, what I've been hearing the last few days and last few weeks is that obviously people within the federation, they would want a Somali coach if it was possible. However, if it's not possible, then they would have to bring in a foreigner outside.
I think there's time for that to happen. I don't think we need that straight away.
Oh, yeah?
I think if it's available and someone does show up, then that's amazing. But right now, it's time to start progressing a little bit. Whether it's with a Somali coach or someone that's just
a foreigner,
that's used to African football, someone that's got a little bit of experience. Honestly, you just need to start getting going, man.
So, like, how would you feel if, like, the management was non-Somali, coaching staff and stuff like that, technical staff, they're not Somali? Like, don't you think surely, like, we should look towards building something within, like, Somali people? And if you look at, for example, like, your country can be successful with a foreign coach, fair enough, but surely people would be able to give you a bit more time if you had a Somali coach in place.
Yeah, definitely true. I just think there's a lot of promising things happening with Somali football in general, where there's early doors with a lot of coaching, a lot of people going into coaching, a lot of players starting to play professionally, get into actual teams, getting into bigger teams in Europe and across the world. I feel like over the next couple of years, I think that that's inevitable anyway. I think, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen anyway. When that does happen, I'd rather the person that comes in not feel disheartened. Because, like, if they come in and they're still early in their career and they feel like they might feel overwhelmed, I don't want them to to
Be
be
discouraged.
impacted by that
Oh, okay,
negatively.
okay.
People
Yeah,
looking at them in the like, you couldn't really do it like that.
Yeah.
For like, if they can get a bit more, maybe even if he has like an assistant that's Somali, and then potentially they could take that person could take on the role after. That could be decent. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But right now, I mean, unless there's an outstanding candidate, I don't know of one at the moment. But like I said, I think right now it's just about getting into the rhythm of being in AFCON.
Competitive.
Yeah, getting into qualifiers every time that it's available. Just get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
With all the other stuff, I feel like that's gonna come anyway.
It'll come in time.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
Because we see a lot of Somali people, even here, getting into coaching, getting into sports in general. It'll come, man.
Inshallah. One thing that I've also noticed here is that there's this urgency between people, and I want to speak on this a little bit. There's this urgency to go by it the right way in terms of have a Somali coach, have a Somali backroom staff, have this going on in the background, have everyone Somali, yada yada. That's all idealistic. It's not realistic in terms of our situation right now. So like, for example, a lot of countries in Africa that qualify for AFCON, that win AFCON, don't have native coaches. Their coaches are from other countries and they have come in to do a job. And then obviously after that success and after that transition, that's when countries have started to implement their own coaches onto the setup. Because why? There's an actual structure now.
Yeah.
And obviously that coach, that manager can give ideas to the federation, say, hey, I know I'm the coach now, but you got to look after me in terms of look beyond my time. So, for example, I saw a lot of West African countries, the reason why they're so far ahead with this whole process is because they have infrastructure and things in place for them to develop and for them to prosper, whereas us, we're late to the party. So because we're late to the party, we can't do what they're doing right now, having native coaches. We're not on that level yet. We have to look what's relative to us and progress that way. But for me, what I think is once we're in the party, I don't think we're gonna stay here for time. For me, it's like
there's an abundance of talent.
Bro, we've seen examples this AFCON alone. We've seen countries like, are you telling me, looking at the table, we have countries like Sudan, Comoros, Zimbabwe, we have Equatorial Guinea, Ethiopia. Okay, there's a lot of countries here that are making first time appearances or that have been AFCON maybe once in a blue moon. So are you telling me we can't do the same as well?
Yeah.
You hear me? Like Ethiopia, they qualified for, okay, cool. Granted, they don't do that well, but they gave a good account of themselves. When I watched them, they played well. They were defensively solid. It's just that they don't have the star quality up front to get them the goals. Cool. Like other smaller countries, we've seen Comoros, how outstanding they've been this AFCON. We've seen Equatorial Guinea, they're still in the competition. Gambia literally have to do the same thing as us. We nearly got drawn Gambia, which would have been a nightmare. Wallahi, nightmare. Would have been peak. But we got blessed with Eswatini, and that's not to disrespect Eswatini, because I did a bit of digging, I did a bit of research. They're not actually a bad side. They drew to Senegal at Senegal 1-1, and the players are playing Mane, Koulibaly. I was watching it here. I have it here. It was 1-1, and the lineup here consists of Diatta, Mendy from Newcastle, Kouyaté from Palace, Koulibaly from Napoli, Idrissa Gana Gueye from PSG, Sadio Mane, Keita Balde, and they drew 1-1 with Senegal last year, March.
Mad.
So they're not a bad.
That's a big result.
And this was AFCON qualifiers.
These are the favourites to win
exactly.
AFCON. And they're drawing. At their ground. Exactly.
They're not mugs. And then I also thought, you know what, that could be a one-off result, innit? Anyone's capable of that. Bro, their 2021 results, they played against Guinea-Bissau, they lost in it, fair enough. They played Senegal, they won. They played Lesotho, Lesotho, they won 1-0. Mozambique, they drew. Okay, fair enough. 2022, bro. Not 2022. 2019, sorry. You have look at their record, yeah. If I can pull it up. Here it is. They drew 0-0 with Djibouti. And then obviously they lost Djibouti away 2-1. These are countries that are making big progress and are further than Somalia right now in our moment in time. So we, first of all, I want people to understand, don't take Eswatini for mugs, you know. Like, don't think, oh, just because we didn't get Gambia, oh, we got Eswatini. No.
You can never disrespect the opposition.
Exactly. Don't look at it as, oh, we're gonna roll them over, because clearly we've seen this AFCON in particular, no one's been rolled over. Like, no one's hold a like corn. Like, I was expecting 5-0, I can't lie, from certain countries, Senegal, Cameroon, to be dishing out, Nigeria, Egypt to be dishing out, the bigger countries, but the smaller countries have proper made a good account of themselves and proper like played well in it. So, and Eswatini make AFCON. They make AFCON qualifiers. They know this part. They know how to do it. So experience plays a big part. Game management plays a big part. Something that we don't have. So before people get onto this whole, oh yes, only Eswatini. All right, cool. The situation right now is not that deep. Minor, Yeah. This situation is drastic. We're 7 weeks away from the game, roughly. The first game's October 20th in Somalia, and then the second leg is in Eswatini. And wallahi, like, there's no announcement of coach, no announcement of technical staff. Players haven't been selected. I know player selection comes later on, but players are not, like, for example, if a new manager comes, he needs time to scout the diaspora pool, the local pool. He needs to see what's going on. Whereas if he comes a month before the game, that means the players he's picking are just based on someone else's information. It's not his decision. So now he's already in a setback. Then obviously, cool, let's say they have training camp. You think training camp is going to help when these are players that he doesn't want? You get me? Like, a lot of things have to be taken into consideration. But
just gotta take time and be patient.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of things that they need to do well, especially where, remember after the Oman game, the captain, Abdulsamad, where he did this post-match interview, he stated that from the Oman game till their last competitive game, guess how big that gap was? 2 years. 2 years of competitive football. They have not played. They haven't played a single competitive, no qualifier, no nothing. 2 years. I think they've had like maybe 1 or 2 friendlies, but in the span of 2 years, nothing. And then you're expected to.
It's worrying.
You get me? Perform.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on?
That's what I'm saying. Just start from the structure in it. Build the foundation. Get someone in.
If he was the director, the person that was put in place, what would you start off with? Like, what would be like the first thing you'd do?
Well, coach.
No, like if you was the hierarchy, for example. What would you do? So you get a coach.
I'd try to get him in as early as possible, but I would want to try to find someone that has a history of improving. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily, they don't have to be the greatest person, but someone that you can perhaps allow them to be in the job for a couple of years. Maybe, like I said, maybe even take someone under their wing to take over from them. But we need to build an understanding between everyone that's working, the backroom staff, the coaches, etc. Have that set. Then have a plan of, okay, have like a long-term plan, because short-term success isn't really going to help us. I mean, it's all about the long-term. The plan. We're saying, what would I do? Do you mean as in what would I do for this specific tournament, or in general? No,
I'm saying, what would you do as in, from the moment you stepped into the office, you now know in your head, well, today's the 29th of January. On the 20th of March, we have a preliminary qualifier against Eswatini, a potential AFCON qualifier campaign. Future things, next 5 years, next 10 years. What would you do as the person at the top?
appointing someone as soon as possible.
But who? Like not who, but what profile of manager?
Ooh. You know what it is? I was saying probably someone foreign, but considering the time, maybe someone that knows the players, knows local players or whatever, or knows or has been in and around the squad in the past. Maybe they might be a better option.
Well, like interim.
Yeah. To take over just to see how things go.
But this is a big game for you to just have an interim, surely.
But I don't know. Do you know, my mindset is the long term though. Short term success is not.
No, but okay. Think about it, yeah.
I understand, like a lot of people want that, but
our success is already. Imagine we're in the qualifiers for AFCON. That is success.
Okay, yeah.
Like you're okay. Let me use this example. Yeah, you're thinking of success as a big country or a big team. You have to think of when you're like, you know me, like a Burnley. If they like, obviously now I think they're starting to get vexed, but when they were in the Premier League, just staying here was fine.
Yeah,
we don't want to get any up there. We're comfy here.
Yeah,
you get it.
Yeah,
or a League One team when they get promoted to the Championship, let's just survive.
Yeah, that's always the first goal.
That's exactly that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And as a smaller country, you just want to be in the qualifiers. Oh, we now have potentially Nigeria coming to Mogadishu.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and then you can progress and change this whole. Me slowly get bigger and bigger.
I think that would be the long term plan. Having an eye on the future in terms of how you can improve, and keeping an eye on like personnel, etc. But maybe I think for right now, I think someone that is a little bit more familiar with the options to choose from.
That makes sense.
Probably be best.
So obviously, like I said before, as it stands, there's no appointment of coach. Obviously, it's a bit early for selection of players, but obviously, if there's no coach, then who's going to be selecting the players? Does the manager even know what players to select? So the longer you leave it just has a domino effect of how things can be impacted. Obviously, as it stands as well, there's no technical staff because there's no coach. So this appointment of the manager is key. I was lucky enough to be in a Twitter space with Somali athlete, and I was listening to what do you call it? I think his name is Chamal, one of the coordinators within the national team, and he was basically saying like how they want to appoint someone, obviously of the earliest convenience, and obviously someone that is preferably Somali, and if they can't find that, then obviously they'll go and look for an foreign coach who knows African football, which sounds all good, innit? But day by day, like, there's no news. The last time the federation made an official statement is, I'll put up for you guys to see, it was when the draw was announced. They put up a statement saying, I actually even have the statement where they put up, and it basically consists of them saying, yes, Somalia, where is it? It's right here. Perfect. Somalia to play against Eswatini in AFCON 23 preliminary qualifiers. CAF has today released the draw of the result, blah, blah, blah. This is for AFCON 23 in Ivory Coast, which we played in March 23. And then obviously there was a paragraph at the bottom, which I think is a good topic starter. CAF is expected to release the fixtures in the next few days. We have the fixtures as the 20th and the 29th of March. Somalia will soon announce a list of players for the competition. Most of them will be Somalis, foreign-based professionals. So most of them will be professionals that are based elsewhere but are obviously of Somali ethnicity, heritage and nationality. So the question is that disrespecting the Somali Premier League players if majority of the national team is foreign based?
Slightly, but at the same time, I think what their thought process is, players that are abroad are probably playing higher level football. If they are, then I don't know if it would be disrespectful in a sense, because it might just be the wiser decision. If they've got more experience against at higher level quality, I mean, why not go for them if they're available?
I don't know. I just feel like, obviously, I would want to see the manager choose what players he has by obviously hearing from a lot of voices, advisors, previous coaches, previous people within the setup, and he make his own decision. I think that's very important. I don't like this idea how there's a person that has team selection done. Like, that gives me very much like your role as a coach, just coach the players that we give you, which I don't think is sustainable. So I think like, obviously every country has their own way, but
when you put it that way,
it's not right. Like, if a manager if the manager decides, okay, foreign-based players is the way, fair enough. But if the manager says, actually, the system that I want to play, there's players that play in the Somali Premier League that can fulfill my system, then why don't you pick them? You know? So I think that's one thing to look at.
I agree with that,
But I don't know, it's just, obviously, everything just starts with the manager, doesn't it?
It does, man. You got to get someone in as soon as possible. As soon as possible.
Oh my, this delay of like, I don't know what's holding them up. And the worst thing is, they're not even reassuring the people that something will be done. They've stayed quiet since.
That's the worst thing. Sometimes silence is
the worst. Because people can think of their own reason, and panic starts to creep into the camp.
Slightly, people start getting more worried. You just gotta take control of the situation a bit.
I understand. I also said something, I think it was yesterday, about the selection of players, because obviously, like, I play football and I've played football to know how, you get me, what's a good level and what's not a good level. I'm not trying to gas myself and say, oh, I've played everywhere and played hard. No, like, I played at a decent level where I just think the whole selection choice is, like, the requirements and the quota for you to be eligible for selection is all wrong. Because, in my opinion, this whole discussion of, oh, you gotta be a pro, but, like, you have to have knowledge of other countries and their setup. So, for example, if we had a Somali, I think there's one, Abdi Sharif from Liverpool. Or Mukhtar Ali, which we all know of. When they're in their academies, we should have an option to pick them from the academy and play national team. Because I know a lot of players that play academy but represent the national team. You get it? So this idea of you have to be pro is a bit of a like I don't understand. Like, you have to look at each country's setup and say which is better, which plays at a high. Like, for example, I can speak of America because I've played in America. So I know if you're looking at the MLS, it's a top league. Cool, fair enough. But I had a conversation, should I say, with a guy that's in charge of player selection in the national team, and he said, so obviously this was when I was putting myself in the hat, saying how, like, I'm a player, I think I'm playing at a very good level, what do you think, type thing. He came back and said, well, alaikum salam, thank you for getting in touch. We currently don't have under 21s or under 23s. For the senior level, you must play at a higher level. Then I said, I currently play football in America after playing men's football in England. He said, that's all good. Keep working hard. Start playing USL 1 minimum. Then you can then be considered. So
USL 1.
So in America, you have MLS, you have USL, then you have USL 1 and 2. You get it? So USL 1 is like League 2 of England, Tier 4. So that's the level he was basically saying, which is professional. But USL League 2 is semi-pro. It's like conference, national league. So again, this whole professional mindset. But I know a lot of D1 athletes that play that are Somali that play for their D1 schools, and the only reason they're not pro is because they want to they want to graduate at the end, or they want to go into the draft.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
But there's a whole process to that. So for me, you have to look at the country's system and set up and say, okay, if maybe pro isn't realistic, let's look at another field and say another portion of players, another area, and say, oh, there's actually players here, because you're now discrediting D1 and D2 athletes when, if I'm being honest, it's higher than MLS.
Yep.
College sports in America, I know there's a lot of American people that watch this that will understand and can vouch. College football in America is more watched and bigger than the MLS. MLS is everyone's end goal, 100%, but they only want to go MLS because why? They can get transferred to Europe. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
But I promise you, I play football. Cool. America, they call it soccer. Soccer might not be as big in America for the men's game, but it's still relatively big. Like, you play in stadiums bigger than Stamford Bridge, bigger than OSU. Yeah, their stadium for their American football. Their stadium for those student athletes is the same size as Old Trafford. 75,000 seated stadium, and they've only announced, I think a few years ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, that they're increasing the capacity. So as it stands, the projected stadium capacity for OSU's Cowboys is 79,000, which is more than Old Trafford.
That is nuts.
UCLA wrote the Rose Bowl. I think it's Rose Bowl or Rose Bowl, I can't remember, one of the two. Yeah, that stadium fully, like, if it was sold out, 101,000 for a student game. These are students. Your age, my age. Yeah. This is students. This is not pro.
That is nuts.
The money that's in D1 and D2 and NCAA sports is ridiculous. The money that's in NAIA sports, ridiculous. The money that's in even JUCOs, which are 2-year schools, so you start as a freshman, you get your associate's degree after your sophomore year, then you transfer to a 4-year school. That's what a lot of boys do that I know of as well. A lot of them are ballers. A lot of them represent their country. But why is it now the Somali national team, they would rather take a pass? Like, I'm not even being disrespectful, and it might sound very condescending, but I just want to get my point across. Someone that's playing USL 2 or USL 1 football in America is more likely to get picked up for the national team than someone that's in a D1 or D2 setup. To my knowledge, this is what I'm just going off and obviously I've put it up on the screen as well. I'm going off by the information that has been given to me. So I'm only reacting. If things have changed and the criteria is different, please tell me so I can dress accordingly. But for right now, this is the information, and you can read it, fam. It's right there. I screenshotted it of our chat, and that's his words. And he's the guy that is in charge of player selection and scouting.
I'm just wondering, why is it specifically no under 20? Oh, as in they're saying they don't have those under 21 teams.
Exactly. So that was another point that I wanted to get on. There's no youth setup for Somali football. So how are you breeding? How are you trying to look long term if you don't have a youth setup? I looked at Eswatini. They have an under 17s. They have an under 18s. They have an under 19s. They have an under 21s. They have a reserve. They have their national team.
It's time to get it rolling, man. It's possible as well.
It's not hard.
It's not hard at all. There's a lot of Somali people that want to be footballers, that aspiring footballers, aspiring athletes in general.
Exactly.
And if there is an option for that, of course they will go for it.
Exactly.
That's more experience.
Exactly.
International experience that, for example, in your situation, you can take back and say, okay, I've played international level. Maybe your coach will ask you, what's the level? Blah, blah. But regardless, you'll have that experience, more playing time, basically going to get better.
Yeah.
And you'll be able, and in that way as well, with college students going over to Somalia for those kind of for those kind of age levels, you've got experience with training and
imagine
and
being
tactics and stuff.
Imagine being a high schooler playing high school football. I'm gonna call it football, and I'm talking about soccer, but I'm calling it football. Imagine being a high schooler a junior, a senior year of high school, you're what, under 18s, under 17s, but you're also representing your country at international level.
Big
bro,
stage.
that is big stuff. I had classmates in my secondary school that were going World Cup qualifiers whilst I'm doing English. Whilst I'm doing English, they have gone to Kazakhstan to do World Cup qualifiers for the age group.
That is nuts.
But we don't. But Somalia now wanna. And for example, I know a rebuttal could be, "What are you gonna pick up any youth person that I don't know?" We're gonna be smart. You're not gonna say, like, for example, when you're a youth player, not everyone is privileged enough to be in an academy. That's people have to understand. Stop this academy and professional. Like, stop how it looks. Let's not take players for what they look like in terms of, oh, they have a nice name, or in terms of their setup, or in terms of what they're doing. Let's look at players that are actually very good. Host trials, have showcases. Go scout. There's a lot of players, there's a lot of Somali boys that are playing football, whether it's Saturday league, whether it's conference level, step 1, step 2, whether like that, you can find some. Or this is what I'm talking about. England. Let's go to Europe. Go to Netherlands, Germany, Scandinavia. There's a lot of players playing at youth level. I have cousins that play step 2 in their own country they are younger than me. You know, that venture is possible, but I just don't think they're serious enough. And I think the issue is here that there needs to be a whole reform of the system and a complete change, because if things continue the way they are, fam, this Eswatini result, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get any more preliminary qualifiers.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Like, fam, this is like...
There's so much that you can do. There's a lot of talent, man. And the worst thing is, whilst I was saying there's a lot of talent, I'm just thinking about UK. And then your situation in America. Bro, there are so many ballers across Europe, across the world.
Across the world, bro.
There is so... And it's not like the way that Somalis have spread out over the last couple of decades, literally all...
Every cornerstone of the globe.
100%.
Australia to America, then in the middle Europe, then the...
And they all play football as well.
They all kick ball. Yeah. All of them. Even the brothers back home.
Yeah, exactly. Back home as well.
Back home, you think the Somali Premier League, it just, they take any random passer? No, they have their own structure too.
Exactly.
So you're telling me you now can't look at the youth setup and the youth players that... Come on, man.
You might as well just start that.
Wallahi, I don't know, man.
And then that I'm assuming that it all comes from funding as well. Obviously, you need to bring in the coaches.
Actually, that's a great topic as well.
And everything, scouts and stuff.
That's a great segue, because
so for all of that to happen, there needs to be investment.
I have a screenshot here of the public letter that obviously Prince Salid, shout out to him, he put on his IG, and everyone that was associated with Somali football, they put up on their page too. And basically the letter reads, you can read it, you can pause and read it for yourself, I'm not reading it, but the key points is the Somali Football Federation is a part of the FIFA Forward Football Development Program, which allows an investment of $6 million per member association for a 4-year cycle to support their operational needs and development project. This also comes with an additional $1 million for members who have an annual revenue of less than $4 million US. As a part of this program, the federation is required to organize at least 4 friendly games a year, as well as creating a database that is accessible to the media and the public. So basically, first of all, whether they have these friendly games, we haven't even hit that 4 friendly games. No, so we're not a part of that. FIFA do give funding, mandatory funding to all member associations. Somalia is part of FIFA. Somalia gets funded by FIFA. Somalia also gets funded by CAF. So you have 2 avenues that you're getting funded from. You're also a lower ranked country, so there's priority on you. And yet we're not in a position. Wallahi, corruption, man. Well, I'm tired, man. Corruption. Well, I'm tired. It annoys me. It annoys me, fam. Corruption.
Okay, it's going through my head, innit?
corruption, fam.
I mean, it's hard to not think it's corruption either. All the signs point towards it.
Wallahi it is.
Well, where's the funding going?
At least, you know what it is, yeah? The funding can go somewhere. And let's say they could get it wrong. Fair enough. Be transparent with it.
Yeah,
be transparent. Show us where this money goes.
Honestly.
If they, for example, put this money in stadium refurbishment, cool. We can sit here and say it's the wrong thing to do at this moment in time, but at least we know where that money's gone to.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a whole nother discussion. But we don't even know where this money's gone. For all we know, it could be in their back pocket. Using it as a metaphor. Like,
man.
I don't understand, man. I don't understand.
There's a lot of potential over these next couple decades, to be honest. But the sooner we start, like you said, the sooner we start, the better.
Yeah.
The sooner we start, the better, man.
What's your thoughts on the game, though? Eswatini, Somalia, the two legs. What do you think?
I mean, I'd be lying if I say I know a lot about Eswatini football.
I know. I had to literally look at me. I'm on transfer market.
But looking at the results that you're saying, I mean, it shows that they know what they're doing. So it's definitely a lot more difficult than I initially thought. I thought, Eswatini, it's probably the easiest.
Their home, to be fair,
but boy,
their home games, their home results have been quite decent. They've managed to get draws and a few wins here and there. Against Congo, a proper Republic of Congo, they're certified and qualified. They got 0-0. They lost to them away from home, 2-0. So they're not mugs, you know.
They're not
mugs.
It's going to be an incredible test. It's going to show us.
Here, look, they were in AFCON qualifiers for 2021. Yeah, obviously the tournament got played is live right now.
Yeah.
Had they beaten Guinea-Bissau, they would have qualified.
What was the score?
They lost 3-1 to Guinea-Bissau. And so they have.
So they're touching distance from AFCON.
They are.
Yeah.
So we can't go into this as favourites.
Yeah.
We are not favourites.
We're definitely not. No.
We're not favourites.
No. To think that way, even...
No. I think people are getting carried away with this whole... We know we're ballers. We know we know our potential.
Yeah.
Like what we're saying is based on our potential.
Yeah.
It's nothing on concrete because an outsider can look at our situation right now and say, you man are not even in a discussion.
Hello, man.
You get me? But it's only because we know what's going on, or we thought we knew what's going on, and we're now talking based on the potential and the opportunities in the future. But I feel like we need to allow the future talk and say, right now, as it stands for this game, we're not favourites, clearly. They have a setup. I've seen here, they like to play a 4-2-3-1 most of their games. And games against bigger opposition, they play a 4-4-1-1. So they play 2 banks of 4. They have that one guy in the middle, creative guy, and they have that striker by himself chilling. So
it just shows that they're organised.
They're organised.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. So, but no, obviously, inshallah, like I always hope for the best, because I don't want people to take me right now as someone that's being very negative. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just listing out like things that have happened, things that are going on, and things that shouldn't happen as well. So I want people to also understand that.
Honesty. You're just being honest.
Exactly. But the first game is in Somalia and the second game is in Eswatini. So I know. Did you watch the Oman game?
No.
You don't watch it? Okay, so a little quick overview. They didn't play well in the first half, but they picked up the second half a lot better. They were much better in the second half. They gave a good account of themselves against Oman. Like, they didn't deserve the win because Oman did everything that they needed to do in the first half. Yeah. But in the second half, obviously Somalia did their thing and stepped up and rose to the occasion. If I was to do a score prediction right now, I think I'll be ludicrous. I think we need to wait now till like maybe a week from the game where we've had a lot more. Yeah. We've had like a month and a half of...
Yeah, because we don't even know who's playing.
We don't know who the manager is. We don't know nothing. So I don't want to speculate anything. But any last thoughts on Somalia?
Let's go, man. It's time to get serious.
It's time to get serious. Now, what I do... Oh, before I move on, actually, you told me downstairs you had something to say. Remember when I was on the Twitter space yesterday? You said I made an interesting point. You said
it was about you kind of covered it already, but about American football or American soccer.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's a lot of talent that's there. I like when people think about talent in general. I'm speaking from like a UK based process. You think about Somalis here, then you might even think about Europe, but you don't think about Europe like as like it's a lot bigger than you actually think in terms of the talent pool.
Yeah.
When it comes to America, you guys have so much. Like you guys are organized football, like under some of the best coaches in the country. You know the drills, how to prepare, meal prep.
Especially
there's a lot more. There's a lot more that goes into the sport, or into being an athlete than a lot of people think. It's not just playing the sport. So you guys have the knowledge of that side as well. So the fact that I mean, how many people do you know that are Somali?
On top of my head?
Yeah. Or have you come across?
So
roughly.
First of all, I've never had a Somali teammate. That's one.
Yeah.
But I've always played against Somalis. So like my school, so my schools have been in the Midwest. So Midwest is like the middle of America. Oklahoma and Iowa. They're the two states that I've been at.
Yeah.
Iowa literally borders Minnesota. So when we play games, we go to Minnesota and we play like teams and universities that are based in Minnesota. So we played against like a few teams. Wallahi, I'm not joking. There was Wallahi, I'm not joking. I saw a whole bench of Malis, and they came on. They balled. Wallahi, it was a tight game. I remember that game specifically. It was 1-1.
Yeah.
They had a good game, and I spoke to a few of them afterwards. Got to know them afterwards as well. Because the thing is, you could be neighboring states, but it could be still like 7 hours to get there.
Yeah. America's massive.
Yeah, America's massive, innit? So obviously, I was like, cool, we stay in touch. Other than that, wallahi, Washington State has a lot of ballers. University of Washington, indeed.
There's a decent number.
There's a lot. Wallahi, off the top of my head, you have obviously where there's predominantly more Somalis in it, you're gonna have more Somali talent. However, underrated places: Missouri, Iowa, Utah, Salt Lake City. That is a big. Wallahi, that is those three alone. Big pool. On the East Coast, I'd say Boston. I know a Somali boy that lives in Virginia that plays D2.
Okay.
So there's a few. Wallahi, there's a few. Obviously, I'm not gonna say the ones that everyone knows, like Minnesota, Cali, Washington, stuff like that. Like there's more underrated ones in it, but for sure.
When you brought that up, I started thinking about the knowledge that you guys have, rather than even just the playing ability, the knowledge that you guys have. So the fact that even if you guys were to be involved, whether it's a player or a coach, whatever, there's a lot of stuff that you can help, because you guys are probably ahead of probably some kids in the UK in terms of actually living the life, knowing how to set up the training yourself, knowing the workout exercises. You
know what's so funny, sorry to cut you off. What's so funny is wallahi, we are treated like professionals.
Exactly. Wallahi. You guys know how it feels to be treated wallahi like an athlete. You know the mindset.
You know there's games, like what's so funny, there's been games where I've flown out on a plane to go to a game.
That's sad.
And I can't, wallahi, there's been a few like lit flexes, wallahi, like I remember when I first landed in Iowa, the university got a plane to get me from Chicago to Iowa.
Mad.
Yeah, wallahi, it was mad. I remember when it first, because you see, this is the thing that I don't understand. Actually, no, I think after 3 years I got to understand why. But in the UK, the professionals, the senior boys that play first team, they are like, their aura is incredible. Like when you're a youth academy player, all you want to do is be in that
creme
setup.
de la creme.
Exactly. Whereas in America, you as a college student, you could be in high school. Fam, we've seen Netflix, the high school boys. They
last chance youth?
Exactly, last chance, bro. And even QB1.
Yep.
There's been many examples, bro. When you're as young as high school, so you're what, 16, 17, 18, you're already treated like what the pros are getting. Yep. So when you go into that lifestyle, you already know the pattern. Yeah, you've been verified for like the last 3 years.
Exactly.
Like,
so when they go into it, it's easy for them to transition into the sport.
Transition's calm.
That's what I'm saying. So for the fact, like you were saying, if we have the under 18, under 21s, under 23s, and people from similar situations as you are there, and you're able to share your knowledge with the coaches and stuff, and in general with the players, letting them not just exercise and stuff, but game preparation. That would go a long way, a lot further than a lot of people would imagine. Because just the fact that you know, I'm sitting next to Monti, he knows how to prepare, he knows how things like this work. They'll be leaning towards you for advice. Then next year, or if they get into the senior team later on,
they already know the pattern from
the young G's from that. They'll be able to ask them.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's a lot more things that go into sports as well.
The first time, in the UK, I've never played in like a packed stadium before. First time was America. Where like it was, I think, 20,000 sold out. Bro, I couldn't hear centre back, my man.
No way.
Wallahi, I couldn't hear him. Yeah. And what's crazy is like in America, I'm gonna touch on this and then we'll end it shortly. So we do this drill once a week, where the manager and the whole team, the assistant coach and the whole squad will shout at you, and the manager will speak to you. You have to pick up what he's saying. Because it practices, like, especially like, because in a game you can't hear everything, innit? The noises are coming from everywhere. Like, and you see me, I have this habit of selective hearing. Once I hear something from there, I might look there, whereas I need to focus here the whole time. So my man's telling me like the tactics for the game, whilst bear man are screaming at me, and he's like, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Right, focus on me. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." And then everyone stop, so go quiet, and he'll ask me, "What did I say?" And I'll tell him, he's like, "Calm, say no more." Wallahi.
That explains a lot. Like, you know how people always make fun of Pep? When he's doing the hand gesture.
There's a reason
so
why
much sense now.
You can't hear him. Wallahi, you can't hear him. And as you know what's so great? I'm a left back. So one half of the game, I'm right next to him. The other half of the game, I'm on the other side.
And he's whistling. What?
Man said whistling. You think whistling? I can hear.
He's trying to do anything to get your attention.
He will probably screw. Like, you see managers, their vocal cords are strong, you know. So he will shout. I'll hear him because in football you develop selective hearing. You choose who you want to hear. So like, I noticed that footballers don't just ignore you. They're prone. They've programmed themselves to only listen to their coaches or players or whatever. I think the battery and the camera told us we've been waffling for too long. So I think we're gonna wrap up now. But before we wrap up, I always have these quick fire questions that I give to every guest. So you ready? Question 1. Would you rather go through the labour process instead of your wife, or have your wife's period until you're 50?
I'm not trying to go through labour.
That's a period, isn't it?
I'll take it.
Calm, say no more. Would you rather have your camera exposed or your messages?
Camera.
Calm.
Yeah, camera.
I'm the opposite.
Really?
Wallahi, yeah. Would you rather accept everything or reject everything?
I'll say reject.
Reject?
Yeah.
Calm.
I'm not trying to say yes to madnesses.
Exactly. Would you rather be able to read minds or be invisible?
Invisible. I don't want to really know what people are thinking.
Say no more. Would you rather owe money or owe a favour?
Favour.
Really? Money, at least we know where it ends, innit? But
I've been watching a lot of Suits, bro.
Really?
Like, when you can get a favour for someone, you owe someone a favour, that's minor.
Okay.
I know sometimes you be Mazaline, but you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'm trying to owe people money.
One of the few that I've said owe a favour.
I don't mind owing someone a favour.
Alright, cool. Would you rather go to war or go to jail?
Jail.
Okay.
I'm not trying to go war.
Would you rather be the best dressed or the best looking?
Best dressed.
Okay. Would you rather have more money or more time?
More money.
Cool. What? More money, not more time? I'm surprised, you know. His answers are different.
I'll take bread.
Okay, first.
It would help with the creativity.
Would you rather go...
I've got a podcast in that.
Yeah, true. Well, that is very true. Would you rather travel back any point in the past or any point in the future? And you're there for the same period of time.
So once I get there, I have to live life again?
No. So you travel there for, let's say, a year. You do a year in the future or a year any point in the past.
I'd probably say past.
Really? Okay. Why?
Because I'm excited about the future. I don't really want to know what's going to happen. I'm excited to wait to see what happens in it.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah. With the past, you'll be able to analyze some stuff.
Nah, fair. Would you rather lose all your money or lose all your memories?
Money.
Okay, fair. Immeasurable success or marry the love of your life?
Immeasurable success or marry the love of your life.
So you can be very successful, but the person you marry is not someone that you like, not your soulmate, as they would say. Or marry the love of your life, but you're pretty like survivor. You're like James Milner, like in terms of your
success. You're successful, but it's relative.
It's just relative to you right now.
I'll take the love of my life then.
Okay, Fez. Nice car, nice house.
Nice house.
Okay. Explore the sea or explore space?
Ooh, the sea. I want to see what's in the sea. I can't like. I'm able to breathe and stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to see what's in the sea.
That's crazy.
Find the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Fam, I said this. I think when I was with Remedy, like I said, we don't even know what's underneath our waters.
This is our Earth.
Yeah,
it's our planet. We don't know what's there. I'm trying to find what's there. I don't care about what's up there yet. Let's know what's here first.
First, man. That's everything. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Bro, it's been a pleasure, wallahi.
It's been fun, man.
It's been jokes, wallahi.
It's been lit.
You're so lit. Listen, our socials has been here throughout the whole video, but right now, follow my boy, follow Half a Yard.
Yep.
Yeah, we order man them. Hopefully, we'll bring them, like majority of them can fill up this room. I have them all here.
You got a lot of members. Can't lie.
I found out. I thought it was 3 man, but apparently it's 7.
It's 7 man.
Yo, that's crazy, but nah, mashallah.
Yeah.
Listen, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Obviously, we're trying to get 1K by the end of the year, inshallah. So go ahead.
Support the boy.
Come on, do your thing. Any last words?
Khair, inshallah.
Inshallah, khair, man. Anyways, it's been your boy. Take care, and in a bit.
We out.